Hello, my name is Elly. I'm a cook, a musician, an artist, a carpenter, a feminist, and an active member of the solar punk and lunarpunk communities, hence all the purple. I have a long history in the prepper survivalist, brony, furry, and YouTube poop communities as well, and years of experience in carpentry and food service. And throughout my life, I have often donated or otherwise mutually exchanged my time and resources with those in my communities, both IRL and online. I also have autism, ADHD, and PTSD. Shadow work and renewed sense of community engagement lately is getting me closer to true remission again, thankfully, but I'm not out of the woods yet. My mental health factors contribute to the discrimination and lack of resources that I deal with, and all my family is either dead or have little to nothing to do with me, mostly because of who I am and what I stand for. Although I do have a wonderful girlfriend, I'll touch on her later. In 2022, I spent 6 wonderful months working in museum operations at the historic Milwaukee Road Complex in North Sioux City, South Dakota. And that was wonderful, but I was forced to flee the state due to extenuating circumstances involving threats on my life, stalker, increasing hostility, living in a state with increasingly fascist laws, policy, and culture regarding the treatment of queer and transgender individuals like myself. After fleeing, I moved to Pennsylvania, and I had a really great life for a while. I was transitioning in therapy, college, and I also helped out other trans and queer people fleeing similarly rough situations to my own. I spent thousands of dollars of my own money, as well as helping pay for Christmas gifts for a friend's family's children. Things were going well, and I made sure to save plenty for myself, at least so I thought. However, I eventually suffered physical violence, more threats, and close to $1,000 in theft from an ex-boyfriend. This most unfortunately coincided with the loss of access to therapy. The ex suddenly left me in a situation where I was bleeding money because he left me paying the whole of the rent myself. Struggling under the weight of fresh trauma and a lack of resources, I had a relapse in PTSD. And of course, as most Americans do, I have continued struggling to get access to adequate health care. The result of this was a temporary but damning inability to take care of my needs or deal with the demands of the intrusive and discriminatory landlord, and I was evicted onto the streets due to a change in rental policy, conveniently targeting the art on my apartment door, which I wasn't able to remove at the time. Ever determined, I have slowly been rebuilding the last few months with renewed dedication. For the time being, I am living on disability checks, which I am thankful for, but they are not enough to meet my needs in the place I am in, and I'm sorry, as nearly all my money goes to rent and internet. I maintain no phone service, and the $30 or so left over goes to an inadequate supply of healthy food. I am resourceful and am now a strict vegan with no need for meat or dairy, but I have had not the resources to tend to a garden or can any food this year like I usually like to. So while foraging in an unfamiliar land has been an exciting source of joy this year, cat's ear, fiddleheads, ramps, wild apples, dandelions, goes on. It takes time to learn the lay of the land, and this season, this far north, is coming to a close now. Local food pantries are a great help, but for my personal religious, ethical, and psycho-spiritual reasons, I must abstain from many of the foods they provide, which are omnivorous in nature. It is my plan to keep rebuilding for the next 6 months and then move out of the Midwest and to live in Washington or Canada with or near my beautiful, smart, and totally awesome girlfriend in either March or April. My lease will be up then. With this money, I should be able to achieve that. Having money to repair my synthesizer and for the bus will help me become more active in my community, like being able to get out in nature, make art, possibly find work, attend spiritual services, donate my time and baked goods to others in need, make and hang out with friends locally, get to medical and therapy appointments, produce music, play piano, various places in town or in the city. And having food security and living expenses covered will help me stay healthy. Having the emergency fund will help me stay off the street and scramble methodically should any unexpected expenses arise. Altogether, this will allow me to move forward and empower both myself and my communities online and IRL. The following are the expenses that I will need to do that. Food, $50 for 6 months, $300. Bus fare, $40 at 6 months, $240. Living expenses, laundry, etc. I've been doing all mine in the tub, but it's getting cold, so it's getting harder to do that right now. $40 times 6 months, $240. Synthesizer repair, $100. Emergency fund, $166 I'd like. And a passport would be $65. So that comes to a total of $1,111. I know this is a hard time for everyone, especially those living in rural areas, the neurodivergent, LGBTQ plus population, and BIPOC communities. So I just don't want you to give what you cannot afford, all right? Self-care is community care. It is my belief, however, that it's important we listen to and empower not only ourselves, but one another as much as possible, both psychospiritually and in the world of material and flesh. So I will be most thankful for anything I may be given and act with duty to fulfill its intended purpose. Take care, everyone.